In the vast rolling fields of the Midwest where endless rows of corn and soybeans stretch to the horizon, a quiet tension is building. John Deere's iconic green and yellow machines are more than just equipment. They're a living symbol of American ingenuity, resilience, and agricultural might, trusted by generations of farmers to feed the nation and the world. For nearly 2 centuries, John Deere has anchored rural communities, providing not only jobs but a sense of pride and stability. But now, global economic pressures and shifting government policies threaten to upend that legacy, casting a shadow over the heartland. The company's recent decision to move some manufacturing abroad, combined with renewed calls for protectionist tariffs from Donald Trump and other politicians, has ignited a heated national debate about the future of American industry. This isn't just about jobs moving overseas, it's a collision of corporate strategy, political ideology, and the harsh realities of a globalized economy, with real and immediate consequences for farmers, factory workers, and entire rural communities. Families in Iowa and Illinois who have depended on John Deere for generations now face deep uncertainty about their livelihoods, their communities, and the future they hope to pass on to their children. Can tariffs and political promises truly bring back jobs lost to global competition and the relentless march of automation? Or are these changes part of a larger, unstoppable transformation in how America works and produces? The answer is far from clear, and the stakes are deeply personal for those caught in the middle. As of August 2025, the stakes have never been higher for America's industrial base and rural identity, with every decision rippling through small towns and family farms. The choices made by John Deere executives and political leaders in the coming months will shape the future of farming, factory work, and rural life for decades to come, determining whether these communities can adapt and thrive or face decline. This story explores the facts, figures, and most importantly, the human impact at the heart of this economic crossroads, revealing what's truly at stake for America's heartland. John Deere's move to shift some production to Mexico is a calculated response to global pressures, not a rash decision. Lower labor costs in Mexico, about $5 an hour versus over $25 in the US, make a compelling business case. Proximity to Latin American markets and access to free trade agreements further sweeten the deal, allowing Deere to export globally with fewer barriers. These savings help John Deere compete with international rivals and invest in new technologies like autonomous tractors. The company argues that offshoring some jobs helps preserve high-skilled roles in the US and keeps the business competitive. It's a strategic trade-off: move some jobs to protect others and stay ahead in a tough global market. But this logic often clashes with political narratives that see any move abroad as a betrayal of American workers. The debate is about more than numbers. It's about the future of American manufacturing. Donald Trump's response to moves like John Deere's is swift and combative. He wastes no time in making his stance clear, seizing the moment to rally his base and draw a sharp line between his vision for America and what he sees as corporate betrayal. He frames the issue as a battle between corporate greed and American loyalty, accusing companies of abandoning the nation for profit. Trump threatens steep tariffs on goods made abroad and imported back, vowing to punish those who move jobs overseas. The goal is clear: make offshoring financially unattractive and force companies to keep jobs at home, protecting American workers and revitalizing domestic manufacturing. Trump's message resonates deeply with workers who feel left behind by globalization, especially in communities where John Deere and similar companies are major employers. For many, his promises offer hope that their livelihoods in towns won't be hollowed out. But tariffs are a blunt tool, not a surgical instrument. They can have far-reaching and sometimes unintended consequences. Economists warn that tariffs can raise costs for American farmers and manufacturers, spark retaliatory trade wars, and disrupt global supply chains, making it harder for businesses to compete. A 25 to 35% tariff on imported tractor parts could erase any cost savings companies hope to gain by moving production, potentially forcing them to reconsider offshoring. However, it could also make equipment more expensive for US farmers, squeezing their already tight margins and making it harder to invest in new technology. The result is a high-stakes gamble. Will tariffs bring jobs back, or will they backfire and hurt the very people they're meant to help? The uncertainty leaves many on edge. The clash between corporate strategy and political populism leaves workers and farmers caught in the middle, unsure of what the future holds for their families and communities. The debate is as much about national identity and loyalty as it is about economics. For many, it's a question of what kind of country America wants to be. The outcome of this struggle will shape not just the future of American industry, but the very fabric of the nation's workforce and its sense of purpose. The standoff between John Deere and Trump's tariffs sends shockwaves through financial markets and rural communities. Investors worry about supply chain disruptions and profit margins, while others bet on Deere's global strategy. In rural America, the conflict divides communities. Many support Trump's tough talk, but also depend on John Deere for jobs and equipment. The public relations battle is fierce. Deere touts its American roots, while unions fight to keep jobs at home. For small towns, losing even a few hundred factory jobs can devastate local economies. Tariffs offer hope to some, but skepticism runs deep after decades of economic upheaval. The debate pits neighbor against neighbor, worker against farmer, and leaves many questioning who truly has their best interests at heart. The uncertainty is palpable, with livelihoods and local identities hanging in the balance. The stakes are existential for America's heartland. Beyond trade wars, automation is quietly transforming factories and farms. John Deere is now as much a tech company as a manufacturer, with robots and software replacing many manual jobs. Today's factory workers are more likely to be technicians or programmers than assembly line laborers. Automation means many lost jobs aren't coming back, no matter where factories are located. On the farm, autonomous tractors and precision agriculture are revolutionizing work, reducing the need for manual labor. The demand is shifting to skills in technology and data management. Tariffs can't reverse this trend. Automation is reshaping the workforce faster than any policy. The real challenge is retraining workers for the jobs of the future, not the past. The debate over offshoring is just one piece of a much larger transformation. U.S. tariffs trigger global reactions, not just domestic consequences. When the United States raises tariffs, the effects ripple across the world, impacting economies, industries, and everyday people far beyond American borders. When America imposes tariffs, countries like China, the European Union, and Canada often retaliate, frequently by targeting U.S. agricultural exports such as soybeans, pork, and corn. These countermeasures are designed to hit politically sensitive sectors and maximize pressure on U.S. policymakers. This creates a painful irony. Policies meant to protect American manufacturing can end up hurting U.S. farmers, who are major customers of those very manufacturers. Farmers rely on affordable equipment and open markets, so they feel the squeeze from both higher costs and shrinking export opportunities. For example, a tariff on John Deere parts can raise costs for U.S. farmers, making it more expensive to maintain their equipment. At the same time, retaliatory tariffs from other countries make it harder to sell American crops abroad, cutting into farmers' profits and threatening their livelihoods. International competitors are quick to seize the opportunity. Brazil and Argentina step in to supply soybeans to China, filling the gap left by American farmers. Meanwhile, European and Asian equipment makers gain ground in markets once dominated by U.S. brands, further intensifying global competition. As a result, global supply chains are rerouted, and companies like John Deere diversify production, opening factories in other countries to hedge against political risk and maintain access to international markets. Ironically, aggressive tariffs can accelerate globalization rather than stop it, as companies seek flexibility and resilience by spreading operations across borders and adapting to new trade realities. The global chessboard is constantly shifting, with unintended consequences for American workers and farmers. Jobs can be lost, supply chains disrupted, and entire communities affected by decisions made thousands of miles away. The world's response to U.S. policy is swift and strategic, as governments and corporations alike adjust their tactics to protect their own interests and maintain economic stability. In the end, trade wars rarely have clear winners. The costs are often shared and the benefits are uncertain, leaving many to question whether the risks are worth the reward. The ripple effects are felt far beyond America's borders, shaping the future of global trade and the lives of people around the world. For small and medium-sized family farms, volatility from trade disputes and rising equipment costs can be devastating. A John Deere tractor is a massive investment, and any price hike, whether from tariffs or supply chain issues, hits hard. At the same time, retaliatory tariffs can flood the domestic market with surplus crops, driving prices down. Farmers face a relentless squeeze: higher costs, lower revenues, and mounting uncertainty. Long-term planning becomes nearly impossible when policy shifts overnight. The stress is both financial and personal, threatening the survival of family farms. Political promises to help farmers often clash with the real-world impact of protectionist policies. For many, this isn't an abstract debate, it's a daily struggle to keep their legacy alive. Moving manufacturing abroad isn't just about jobs and profits. It has environmental costs too. Countries with weaker regulations can become pollution havens, as companies seek lower compliance costs. Fragmented global supply chains increase transportation emissions, raising the carbon footprint of each product. Critics argue that offshoring exports not just jobs but pollution, sidestepping stricter U.S. standards. Supporters claim economic growth abroad can eventually improve environmental standards. The debate raises tough questions about corporate responsibility and the true cost of globalization. Environmental impact is an often overlooked part of the offshoring equation. The John Deere saga and Trump's America First policies highlight a defining tension in today's economy. John Deere's global strategy is about survival and innovation, while Trump's tariffs promise to protect American jobs. The result is a standoff between corporate pragmatism and economic nationalism, with no easy answers. Automation is changing work faster than any trade policy, and the global economy is more interconnected than ever. Small farmers are caught in the middle, squeezed by rising costs and falling prices. Environmental concerns add another layer of complexity. The choices made now will shape American agriculture and industry for years to come. This is more than a story about one company or politician. It's about the future of work and prosperity in a global age. The central question remains: how can America ensure prosperity for its workers and farmers in a world defined by automation and global competition?